Hello, my name is METİN ARIDAŞIR. This is 54th part of explanation of my theory. Meta-sensation perception matter is an adiabatic at infinite value radius closed universe. According to my theory and my formulas, 1. There are transparent, light can pass through, or opaque, non-transparent. Opaque, light can not pass through areas, volumes that are made by electron motion forms, joint motions, combinations in meta-sensation perception matter. Again, 1. There are transparent, light can pass through, or opaque, light cannot pass through areas that are made by electron motion forms, joint motion combinations in meta-sensation perception matter. 2. Tension inside of meta-sensation perception matter. Remember what was tension here. Remember it was motion arrow. And here meta-sensation perception matter. Wholly one quality, indivisible, unobservable directly. There is no void, absolute plenum, meta-sensation perception matter that I put for the concept and theory and formulas. Here, remember a motion arrow, first starting if there was. Then remember a kind of tension from meta-sensation perception matter through this motion, and then this tension of this reaction of meta-sensation perception matter to this motion form, this reaction makes this motion form reverse, and this is the first electron motion form cycle, remember. Again and again I have told you, pressure, a kind of, or tension. 2. Tension inside of meta-sensation perception matter that decreases or increases with respect to relative motion between intrinsic motion forms and their non-transparent joint-cyclical motion forms. And these forms may be an observer or an observed. There is no difference. Like this. Like this. Here. Say at rest. I hope you see. At rest, electron motion form, and it doesn't need free electron motion form, and it doesn't need acceleration or deceleration to produce and propagate successive waves. Okay. Say this is at rest and produces and propagates successive waves, light waves. Here observe. Okay. Observer. An observer is opaque. Combination of electron or electron-like motion forms, protons, etc. Okay. Here, if observer approaches to this at rest but producing and propagating successive waves electron, free electron motion form, if approach here, here, between them, okay, relative motion, and at the rate of observer's velocity, this distance and this distance, part of meta-sensation perception matter, tension will increase. If this electron motion form at same velocity, in same direction, in motion like that observer, there is no big stress, there is no excess stress, and there is no excess tension between them. Okay. Vice versa. Vice versa. If electron motion form approach the at rest observer, in motion electron motion form is relocating, and between them there is a kind of tension of meta-sensation perception matter, and high tension and narrower at the rate of velocity of electron motion form. This wavelength will shrink and opposite direction enlarge. Yes. And again, remember another kind of tension. Here, stronger power, motion arrow, smaller wavelength, because of at rate of power of this motion arrows, at rate of this motion arrows power, reaction of meta-sensation perception matter is increasing, and lower wavelength, higher frequency, higher angular velocity. And here another one, this motion arrows power smaller, lesser than first one, and lesser reaction of meta-sensation perception matter, and longer wavelength, smaller energy, higher frequency. Don't forget, please. Yes. 2. Tension inside of meta-sensation perception matter that decreases or increases with respect to relative motion between intrinsic motion forms and their non-transparent, opaque joint-cyclical motion forms, relative motion between them with respect to these relative motions, tension inside of meta-sensation perception matter that decreases or increases with respect to these relative motions. And these forms may be an observer or an observed. There is no difference. At the same time, this is the reason for variable wavelength and light wave velocity variable. At the same time, this is the reason for variable light wave velocities and variable wavelength of relocating free electron motion forms successive waves. This is the reason for all kinds of entanglements, and this is the reason for absoluteness, and this is the reason for absoluteness of simultaneity, and this is the explanation of action at a distant distance MET. Yes. 3. Here, say our universe. Its radius is equal to infinite volume, but it is adiabatic and closed system. Think about it. Through the eternity, no limit, but we think as if there is a limit. And its radius is equal to infinite volume. This is normal, our universe. Our universe is unobservable directly, indivisible. There is no void, absolute plenum. There is no void. Okay, absolute plenum. Absolute plenum. But there are motion forms, intrinsic motion forms of meta-sensation perception matter. Meta-sensation perception matter is our indivisible, unobservable directly universe, our universe. Universal reality for us is meta-sensation perception matter. And remember, we have subjective reality, that which we share with all living species, and our subjective reality is rooted in interaction of cyclical, regular motion forms of meta-sensation perception matter. Say, free electron motion forms, bounded electron motion forms, etc. Here, our normal universe. Okay? This is radius of our universe. Radius. Okay. If we add, say, 0.001 nanometer to the infinite value of meta-sensation perception matter's radius, or subtract that 0.001 nanometer from this infinite value, we reduce only small part, 0.001 nanometer, say. If we reduce small part from infinite number value reduce. If we add, say, 0.001 nanometer to the infinite value of meta-sensation perception matter's radius, or subtract, we would make the whole universe. We would make meta-sensation perception matter out of balance. They say universe is expanding. Space is expanding. Wrong. Absolutely wrong. Space-time. Absolutely wrong. Curved minds products. Wrong products of mind. Yes. Eventually, if we do this, say, if we reduce only a small amount the radius of meta-sensation perception matter, say only 0.001 nanometer, or small shrink, okay. Eventually, if we do this, say, if we reduce only a small amount of radius of meta-sensation perception matter, say only 0.001 nanometer, whole total tension on its all intrinsic immanent cyclical motion forms that are free or bounded inside of these closed at infinite value radius universe meta-sensation perception matter will increase. This tension will increase. Therefore, all of intrinsic motion forms, wavelengths and radiuses will shrink. Their frequency will increase whether they are free or bounded instantly. Say only small part shrink. Here, normal free electron motion forms, say, for instance, normal wavelengths. And when this universe shrinks, smaller wavelengths, higher frequencies, higher energies. Again shrink, smaller again, smaller wavelength, higher frequencies, instantly. Okay, instantly. Yes. Now, if we subtract small part 0.001 nanometer from infinite number value radius, small shrink of whole universe. If we do this, whole total tension on its cyclical motion forms inside of this closed at infinite value radius universe, at the sensation perception matter, will increase. Total tension, whole tension will increase. Therefore, all of intrinsic motion forms, wavelengths and radiuses will shrink. Their frequency will increase whether they are free or bounded instantly. And if we do this, all of the intrinsic motion forms that, as measured, seem like atoms and protons in our subjective reality, which we share with all living species, will shrink, and all of the atomic regularities and regular spectral phenomena will change. Perhaps irregularity will take place. All of these regular facts, we can do that artificially by using high pressured adiabatic mediums seen in our subjective reality. For small part of universe, we can make some experiments. 4. When meta-sensation perception matter shrinks, say, what about heat and temperature that we had adopted? Of course, all wavelengths of intrinsic motion forms will get smaller and their successive wave energies will increase instantly. Bounded electron motion forms wavelengths will shrink instantly. Constituent parts of electron-like motion forms wavelengths that constituent parts of proton will shrink. All of bounded or free electron, bounded or free, all of electron motion forms wavelengths will shrink and their frequency will increase and their energy will increase, and atomic regularity, what will happen? What will happen to us? Okay? What will happen to living species at that time? Temperature, heat, and pressure adaptations. Yes. 4. When metasensation perception matter shrinks, say, what about heat and temperature that we had adapted? Of course, all wavelengths of intrinsic motion forms will get smaller and their successive wave energies will increase instantly. 5. When metasensation perception matter shrinks, its total energy will increase instantly. 6. Laws and constants of metasensation perception matter, say universal reality, are determinative for laws and constants of subjective reality, which includes pressure, temperature, heat, mass, light speed, gravity, etc. concepts. Metasensation perception matter is not metaphysic that I put forth. Don't waste your time dividing infinitely as a crazy. The particles. Yes, we need this knowledge, but what is the matter? The matter is meta, sensation, perception, matter. Yes. Good evening. See you later.